Okay, so the next feature we are going to talk about is the Swap Layers button. Okay, or the Swap Layers feature. Okay, this is a very handy feature. I've been using it since the Amiga video toaster days and the Amiga 3000. Okay, basically what it does is, say you're working on something, a project where you have separate objects and separate layers. Okay, now those of you who don't know what a foreground layer and a background layer is, we'll just talk about it really quickly. A foreground layer is a visible layer that you can physically make edits to. You can manipulate the object, do whatever you want. Okay, let's just deselect that. A background layer, let's pick something else. A background layer is something that is unaffected. A lot of times it's used for tracing or just for reference. Sometimes it's used for some of the tools in the multiply tab, so on and so forth. We won't go into that totally, but anyways, I can't do anything to this. I can't edit this. But say for some reason, okay, let's grab two layers that are close to each other. Size that up. Say I'm building something and I need the background layer for reference for something that I'm building. Okay, whether it be a house or a car or anything. Placing the eyeballs in a dinosaur or an animal or a human, where you have separate objects, but you need the actual other part of the object for reference. Okay, so the background layer is untouched, and I can move this around with reference. Now, say I need to switch back to this layer over here. I need to go back to the ball layer, and I don't want to have to keep switching back and forth and then clicking the background layer. So if you don't know how this works, this is the foreground layer when you see it's grayed out here, and then you click in the bottom triangle and that is the background layer. Okay, it's not selected. The whole bar has to be selected, and it's sort of like a bluish color. That means it's editable. Okay, but if I click up here, now I can edit it. And then if I click the bottom triangle here again, now the ball shows up, but I can't edit the ball. Okay, so basically, but if I don't want to have to keep going click and then grab the other triangle, come down like this, there's a really easy way to do it. Okay, and it is the Swap Layers button. Okay, and so you can click. If you notice, it keeps switching and toggling. It's sort of like a toggle switch, and you can go back and forth between the two layers. Okay, but once again, this is one of those buttons that you have to go all the way into the View tab, and you have to go find it. And the thing is, that's fine. If you've got the time to do that and it doesn't bother you, hey, great. But the whole point of this feature, this Swap Layers feature, is for time saving. So the most time saving part about this feature is that it's tied to a keyboard shortcut, which is the apostrophe or the quotes key button. Okay, so just click on the quotes key. Okay, you don't have to hold down anything else. No shift, no alt, no control. Just click on down on the quotes apostrophe key there, and see it just switches back and forth. Okay, real easy. Okay, now if you're wondering if you can do multiple selections, let's try that right now. So let's multi-select these two. Hold down the shift and grab the background layers of the other objects. Hit the A key to size everything up. Okay, now let's go over to these swap layers. So I guess it's called swap layers because what it's doing is it's swapping between, or swapping or toggling between active layers and non-active layers. When they're white like this, that means they're active. When they're black, that means they're not. That means black is a background layer and the white is a foreground layer. In this particular window, you actually see them as like a true mesh, okay, because it's in texture mode, okay? Same thing, quotes key, we can just toggle back and forth. So you can do groups selections, okay, and they don't have to be beside each other either, okay? Watch this. Let's hold down the shift key because we have to multi-select, okay, and then let's hit shift for the bottom triangle. Okay, so notice they're staggered out now. Same thing, hit the quotes key. Okay, so same thing works. So you could have with the swap feature or swap layers feature, you can multi-select, or you can just have two layers swapping back and forth. Okay, so I think I've pretty much covered that tool. There really isn't much more to it, or anything at all, actually. That's just what it's for, but very, very handy. And I really, really suggest that you memorize the keyboard shortcut. So quotes key to swap between layers. Okay, we're going to move on to the next tool.